So hello, today I'll be presenting to you about an area chart. So what is an area chart? Basically, it's a chart that consists of a line right here and an area. It is based on the line and a bar chart, an extension from a line and a bar chart, of course. An area between axis, the x-axis and y-axis, and line is filled with colors to indicate size or volume, meaning that it shows how much something has. And in this case, cappuccino, it tells how much cappuccino has in terms of the growth, the volume. And I get a transaction data set from a coffee shop to tell how many in each type of coffee sold throughout 1 year period. Almost. Next, an area chart, it emphasizes on the magnitude of change over time, and the chart is also used to compare the volume trend between multiple lines across a time series, whether which one possess more proportion. And in this case, in this example, I will use hot chocolate as an example. As you can see, there is a huge non-overlapping part starting from March and to the end of the September, uh, meaning there are big differences, and cappuccino have higher volume and higher proportion than hot chocolate, as you can see. To summarize, the bigger the gap, the bigger the differences. Let's move on. Let's move on to what you should not do with an area chart. For an area chart, you should not use with things or products rather than days and time, which is meaningless because I'll show you the example. I will delete month and coffee name instead at x-axis and deselect all of them. So as you can see, the chart is supposed to show a trend, and using this can easily confuse who see the chart. As you can see, you may see as there are patterns or the sales are dropping, which is not true. It merely shows each of coffee type the sum of money. So using this is very convincing. I don't know, very confusing. So you should not use this one. Let's move on. Next, for an area chart, you should not go beyond 3 lines. What I mean by this is that um, when comparing between multiple lines, you should second, yeah, you should only use 2 to 3 at best. Since okay, let's say espresso bean, this is acceptable. This is um this is still able to interpret, but when adding, let's say, 4 or 5 Americano and Americano also, it is very excruciating, and tiring to interpret. It's very difficult. So it is better to stay with 2 or 3 for the sake of easiness. And next, lastly, you should not use for precise and exact value, since area chart is meant for overall observation, trend analysis, and patterns comparison over time. The emphasis is on the field area right here, right here. Instead, when you want a precise and exact value, you should go with something typical, something conventional like line or bar chart, with which suit better and it would be better.
Hi everyone, my name is Supawat Siriathiwat and my student ID is 6481355. So today I will be presenting the stacked area chart, which is the visualize that I get assigned in Power BI. So a stacked area chart is great for showing cumulative totals over time. It helps illustrate both the overall trend and the contributions from different categories. So for this visual, I have used monthly sales data across three products with each electronics, furniture, and clothing. As you can see, this is a small data set that I created. So here are the completed Power BI that I created. So the data includes sales figures for each category from January to December 2023, and this helps us see how different categories contribute to the overall sales month by month. And next, I will show you how to do this visual. So first, you need to open the Power BI desktop, and then you click import data. If you use Excel file, you click this one, and next to choose the file that you created, and next just double click it and click load and wait for a few seconds. And once your data is loaded, so you click to check it if it loaded. So first and next you click on the report, and then you choose the visual that you want to, and it will show the plain visualize. And if you want to insert the data, you just click on the data, which is sheet 1 for me, and then you just click on the month, and it will automatically move to the x-axis, and all the values it will automatically move to y-axis. So maybe it's too small. I will expand it for you guys. Yeah, that's it. So next is I I also added I will be change, so you can change the title for the visual. So you just click the format for visual, and then you click general, and you will see the title one, and you click. So in this one, maybe I will change it to like monthly sales product in 2023, and click enter. It will change it for you. And next, I will I will add the data labels to see the values clearly, and that's it. Maybe furthermore, if you want to insert your name, so just click enter and the text box, and you can move it like that. And and for a stacked array chart is ideal for visualizing data that changes over time, especially when you want to see the cumulative effect of several components. For example, if a company wants to analyze total monthly sales from different product lines, the stacked array chart helps visualize the total sales trend while also showing how each category contributes to the total. And the stacked array chart effectively shows cumulative changes over time while breaking down each segment's contribution. I demonstrated how to create it using sales data for different product categories, which is the clothing, electronics, and furniture. And that's it for the Visual 9. Thank you for watching my presentation.
Scattershot. Scattershot is a chart that commonly referred to as a scatter plot. It is basically a graphical representation used to explain the relationship and correlation between two continuous numerical variables within a data set. This visual tool employs a Cartesian coordinate system where each data point is symbolized by a marker on a two-dimensional plane. The horizontal axis, which is x-axis, signifies the values of one variable, often referred to as the independent variable. And next, the y-axis represents the value of the other variable, which is dependent variable. Scatter charts are designed to review patterns, trends, and potential correlations between the variable being studied. Each marker's placement on the chart corresponds to the specific values for the two variables associated with that data point. By plotting multiple data points, the scatter chart enables analysts and researchers to observe the dispersion and the clustering of data, identifying potential relationships such as positive or negative correlations, clusters, or outliers. So here's my data. So basically, it's a sales of a company superstore. It has data from ranging from order ID, order date to even the product name, the sales, discount, the profit, etc. So it is very comprehensive. So imagine if I want to know the relationship between or correlation between the sales and profit in each product category, whether it will show positive trends, negative, or no correlation at all, and will it answer the question that does higher in sales result in higher in profit? So let's get into making of the scatter plot. So I'll use sales into no, sales into the x-axis and the profit into the y-axis. And don't forget, it has to be numerical variables, both of the x and y. And then I will use product category into the legend. And as you can see, there are three product category: furniture, office supplies, and technology. And there are only three dots right here. The problem is we Power BI automatically set this value as sum. Yeah, as sum. We have to change it to dot summarize to shows each transaction or sales of each product category like this. Here we go. As you can see, the chart seems to show a positive correlations, and we can further enhance the understanding by using trend line. And right now, we are definitely sure that it is a positive correlation. So to answer the question, the higher in sales to some extent does show a higher in profit, but there are some prominent outliers which we can clearly see in technology category right here, right here, and right here, right here, right here. Furthermore, these areas are very less dispersed too. Additionally, if you really want to know the third variable or want to put it in, we can use size in this one too. We can maybe use discount, quantity, or even number of days to fill in this size. So what do I mean by this? When I put the discount in, okay. So as you can see, the circle will change accordingly to the higher the number, meaning that if the company gave the discount, the size of the circle will become bigger. So yeah, I think it is very useful. And next, lastly, the play axis. When you want to make an animation regarding the time, we typically use the time, the year. For instance, we can show how the data has changed throughout the given period of time. So it is quite useful. And moving on, what are the things that something that we should consider and something that we should not do? So first, we should use trend line or annotation to enhance our understanding, which is here, the trend line. Don't forget to use it. Next, don't overuse categories or overload with data point. Too many with different colors, shapes can really overwhelm the chart, making the chart cluttered and unreadable. Right here, there are always three categories, and it is becoming quite very difficult to read already. And next, don't neglect outliers, as you might miss out on some insight, especially this one too. neglected. And next, don't plot unrelated variables as they can lead to meaningless insights. And lastly, don't assume correlation implies causation, meaning that inferring that one variable causes the other based on a correlation shown in the scatter shot. Instead, we should, dig deeper and go on make a study about the causation other instead.
So Treemap is a data visualization tool that is used for representing hierarchical data. It can display data in sets of rectangles where each box can represent data points in different size and color. An example of one suitable data that can be used for this tool can be something like this, where we have category of, for this one, it's a product sales and category. So in each column, we can see the category of product, beverages, dairy product, meat, confectionery, grain and cereals, and the type of product, coffee, tea, something like that, and sales for each of them. So the way how to use it can be like, first you can click the Treemap here. Then click the column you want to represent. Okay. Okay, here. Each box in here represent the sales, contribute in the overall sales. For example, you can see that the size of meat and grain cereals are very similar. This is because the sales are very similar, like here. You can format your visual by like change your color if you want. If you want to change it into like the beverage into green color, like this, or label your data, just turn on it and you can see the total sales for each category. Yeah. And for the category, you can add the subcategory of each product here. You can see that how much sales in each category to contribute to the overall sales. For example, chicken 500K, chocolate 400K for confectionery. Yeah. One disadvantage of Treemap is that it can be, if the data is too much or like the category you have or you have too much of them, it can be a little bit confusing and hard to see the comparison, because that's the point of this visualization. This is okay because we have only few category, like 5 of them, but if it's like 12 or more than that, it's going to be difficult to see the differences in sales. So Map Visual is a visualization that can be used to display data across regions or areas, where different areas are color-coded based on the values in dataset. An ideal data for this kind of tool would be geographic information that can represent various numerical values. An example of this, the suitable data would be this one. As you can see, there's like country where this column has like countries in Germany, United States, and market share in different year. So how basically you're going to use this is field map here. The difference between field map and map is that field map is more suitable to display distributions of values across larger regions, where map is for displaying specific locations. So here I click the data I want it to display. Yeah, the location would be right here. Yeah. And you can see the market share in 2023 in Canada, 7%. So it shows how much market share different regions or different areas have. That's one example of the data you can use. Another one would be here. It's pretty similar, but this one it's categorized by it's all information with here is in United States, but it's categorized in different regions and states and province, like Washington, West, Arizona, Oregon. So here, let's say that I want to display the location in region, like sales, want to show the sales. And state and province also. Okay, right here. You can see like different colors representing different states and sales, sum of sales for each state. Oh, this one. Let me put regions here. So there are basically four main color for this one, representing each region: central, east, south, and west. And if you click each of them, you can see the sales for each state, basically. Yeah.
Today, we will be exploring the Power BI goals visualization to track business performance against targets. This is ideal for metrics like sales, revenue, or KPIs, helping teams to quickly see if they are meeting their goals. To show an example, we will be tracking sales performance across 3 different regions: North America, Europe, and Asia. And each row over here shows the sales target, actual sales, and the target status, whether it's on track, behind, exceeded our target, or we are at risk. So in order to set up a goal, for this example, I'll be using the region to show the goal, as I'll be using different regions to show performance by location. The current value here represents what we have achieved as of now, and the final target would be our targeted sales. For the current value and the final target, we can actually manually type it in, or we can create sub-goals using different functions such as sum, average, max, and minimum. You can actually connect it to a data, which is useful for companies with internal systems that tracks progress of their sales or whatever data they're tracking. We can select a status that matches our current performance, as well as setting a starting date as well as a due date for each goal. Here, the progress bar shows how close the actual sales are to the target. For example, in North America, the sales target was 1 million, but we only hit 950,000. So BI uses color coding to show performance, with green representing on track, yellow being at risk, and red being behind the target. With this, the management can drill down into any region to get more details and analyze which area requires more attention. In conclusion, Power BI goals help teams to quickly assess progress against their targets and take action if necessary. The linear gauge visualization in Power BI is great for visualizing a single measure within a defined range, such as sales performance, project completion, progress tracking, or any other metric where you want to show the progress towards a goal. It's particularly useful when you have a single KPI to track and you want to compare it against a minimum, target, and maximum range. For this example, we'll use a dataset based on sales performance to demonstrate how the linear gauge visualization works. We will track sales figure against a target and compare them to a minimum and maximum range, giving us a visual indication of our progress. To summarize, linear gauge provides a quick and intuitive way to gauge progress and take action if needed.
So the extra visual tool like I choose is a Likert scale visual. It's used to represent survey data collected on a Likert scale. For example, like when you make a Google form or some kind of survey that can ask you to rate something out of 1 to 5 scale, something like that. So one sample of data can be like this. Asking like the first column can be like questions, scale, and response. Here's the different types of data you can have, like categorized in different questions, and like the rows will represent the score or the skill the respondents respond. So if to use this, it's basically you need to focus on these 3 things: dimensions, skill type, and response in numeric. Basically, you just drop the data here, the dimensions, questions, skill type here, and the response here. Yeah, and you can see the sum of response by questions and skill. So the Power BI will calculate the percentage and show the color that can represent in each questions how satisfied would you with the level of service. So you can see that 31% of the respondents are satisfied. If you want to change the color or like anything, you can go to the format and this one scale type, you can change the color all you want. Or another type of data that categorize data in different questions. So you can put the dimensions here. Yep. Something like this. And for this one, you don't need to put any data in scale type because it's already in these data. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Hi everyone, my name is Supawat Siriathiwat and today I will be presenting the extra visual that I choose, which is the box and whisker chart by MAQ software using Power BI. So this visual is used to display the distribution and variability of data, highlighting the median, quartiles, and outliers and overall spread. So I have used test score of students in different subjects, including math, science, English, and yeah, that's it. And across 3 different classes, which is class A, class B, and class C. So the data allows us to visualize the distribution of scores within each class and understand how performance varies between subjects. So next I will show you how to create this type of, yeah, I will show you. So first you open the Power BI and you import file. So I use Excel, and then you click insert and wait a few seconds, and then you load your data and wait for a few seconds. So once it loaded, you make sure it loaded correctly, and next I will choose the visual that I will use. So click on get more visuals and find the box and whisker chart. Mm. Yep, and then find, yeah, right here, and hmm, and then you click add, yeah, and it will show you here, and you click box and whisker, and this is a plain. So if you want to add data, so I have class, score, and subject, so I will drag class to the axis category both, and the score will goes to the value, and for the subject will go to the legend, and here the chart. So let's expand it. So yeah, and as you can see, we can choose if you want to see English score, math score, and science score. Yeah, and it will highlight you the this score. And if you, and the white dot is you, it is the mean of the score. If you don't want to see it, you click the box option, and then I'm not sure. So you want to change the name, so this is the place where you can change the name. And so a box and whisker chart is ideal when you need to analyze the spread and variability of data such as students' test scores. It allows educators to easily identify how students are performing, where the median score lie, and if there are any outliers that need attention. And for example, schools can be used the chart to understand how students performed across different subjects, allowing them to identifying areas where student might need extra help. So this visual effectively shows the spread and distribution of data using student test scores. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching my presentation.
Okay, so for the extra visual, I chose histogram. A histogram is a type of chart used to represent the distribution of numerical data. It divides the data into bins, basically means intervals or ranges, and uses bars to show the frequency or count of data point within each bin. So, and this is an example I got. So we click on the histogram chart and then click on the profit right here. Change them on the x-axis and then uh, okay, so on the x-axis. As you can see, the x-axis represent the bins, the ranges of the data. Right now we got $200 of range of bins. Yeah, as you can see, they are all equally distributed. And next, the y-axis, which is represents the frequency of data within each bin. And in this instant, it is a count. Okay. So what are the example of use cases for this histogram chart? First one is analyzing maybe test scores to see how many students scored within different ranges. Second is visualizing sales data to determine the most common sales range, and next exploring the distribution of daily temperatures in the city. And in this case, we are determining the most common profit, the most profit number throughout the 200 years, of course, of period. Like in this, it is 1821 to 2020. So yeah, and we are exploring the distribution. So there's a trend that the distribution that the profit tends to stay around this area. And let's move on. What are the do's and don'ts? Something that we should not do, common mistakes. The first thing is to using too many or too few bins. Using too many would cause a noisy and overly complicated data. And next, too few will basically overly simplified, and you can miss out on an important trend. Next, you should not get confused with bar chart, since a bar chart or bar plot gives a value for each group of categoric variable. Here we have only a numeric variable and we check only its distribution. And lastly, don't compare more than 3 groups in the same histogram. The graphic gets cluttered and hardly understandable. Instead, maybe you should consider using a violin plot, a box plot, or a ridge line plot, or use a small multiples.